This is the ICE-free Neo, Germany's newest actual high-speed train, and I think it might just be Europe's best model yet. Join me today for a high-speed journey from Frankfurt Hauptbahnhof through Germany and onto Belgium to its capital Brussels. Along the way, I'll show you the brand new interior, the upgraded onboard features, and what might just be one of the best first-class seats currently running anywhere in Europe, on a journey that didn't exactly go as planned. We start our journey at Frankfurt Hauptbahnhof, the city's main station and one of the most important railway hubs in all of Germany. Ignoring all the NPCs outside of the station, the inside of the station is actually rather nice, featuring a very pleasant station building that used to be the largest station in all of Europe at the time of its opening in 1888. Inside the station there is a large ticket office and travel center, as well as a selection of fast food outlets, retail stores and other facilities. There is also a first-class lounge here, but access is only on the most expensive first-class tickets, which unfortunately is not us today. So instead, to kill time before departure, I can recommend walking all the way to one end of the platforms to take a look at the beautiful train shed and watch the various train services snake its way in and out of the station. Frankfurt Hauptbahnhof is what is known as a dead-end terminal, meaning trains have to go out the same way they came in. The station is served by various regional train operators going to the towns and cities in the surrounding area, but it's also a major hub on Germany's ICE network, offering connections to pretty much every corner of the country, as well as a few international destinations like Brussels, where we are headed today on the 6:27 departure. And here our train comes straight from the depot. Our train is formed of two ICE-free Neo sets, which are both 8 carriages long. It's the evolution of Siemens' popular Velaro model, of which Germany also has a large fleet of, simply known as the ICE-free. The ICE-free Neo is built by Siemens and has an in-service top speed of 320 km per hour. And I've heard a lot of good things about these trains, so I am very excited to finally be checking them out on today's journey. And wow, my first impressions are great. The interior feels modern and elegant, while remaining cozy thanks to the soft mood lighting and the wood elements. I've reserved seat number 31 today, which is a window seat on the solo side. I do really like the small subtle color light seat reservation indicators. It makes it very easy to find an available seat when you're traveling without a seat reservation. But as my train was not very busy this morning, it shouldn't be a problem finding a seat regardless. And just a couple of minutes after boarding, we are off from Frankfurt Hauptbahnhof, just 2 minutes behind schedule at 06:29. We snake our way out of this busy station, taking the line out towards Frankfurt Airport and the high-speed railway line towards Cologne, which is the first of 4 segments of high-speed rail travel today. So with our journey now started, let's take a closer look at the route map for today's trip. We are on board ICE train 18, which leaves from Frankfurt Hauptbahnhof, making a couple of intermediate stops on the 403 km long route we are scheduled to cover in 3 hours and 8 minutes to reach Brussels. This gives the train an average speed of 129 km per hour. As we snake our way out towards our first station stop, I checked out the first class interior, and I have to say I am really impressed by it. One thing I really love about the newer Deutsche Bahn ICE interiors is the large information displays that show journey information exceptionally clear. I also really like the wooden finishes combined with the soft lighting. It just really makes the train feel a lot more cozy and like a place that invites you to kick back and just enjoy the journey. I also really think that Deutsche Bahn has hit a home run with the seats here in first class, but I will have to wait to show them to you as we are now calling at Frankfurt Airport. The full name of the station here is actually Frankfurt am Main Flughafen Fernbahnhof, with the Fernbahnhof at the end being used to denote that these platforms are for the long-distance trains, as the airport also has a whole other separate station just for S-Bahn and regional trains. We continue our journey from the airport out towards the high-speed railway line towards Cologne. The Frankfurt to Cologne high-speed line was opened in 2002 and cut journey times between these two major German cities in half, reducing the trip time from 2 hours to around 1. While the line is built for speeds up to 300 km per hour, I actually didn't see us reach that speed today, seemingly topping off at around 230 for some unknown reason. At this speed, the train was running smoothly and quietly, and I was just sat back in the seat enjoying the comfortable ride. And that seems like a great opportunity to segue into taking a look at the seats. It comes with this plush headrest pillow, which in combination with the winged headrest itself, I found very pleasant to rest my head on. The seat itself is also in a comfortable ergonomic shape with great support. Combine this with the generous amount of padding, I found the seat provided excellent support for an upright work position, and also enough padding combined with the recline to also be really comfortable for relaxation. The attention to the details are also impressive, including the slightly padded armrest, which underneath has a wireless charging pad. And as you'd expect, there's of course also still a regular sized European power outlet. In the seat in front you'll find a small storage pocket, as well as a small bin. The seat is also equipped with a footrest, which is adjustable. But by far my favorite elements of the seat are the great new tables. First, to the left you'll find this handy drinks holder that will actually hold a drink. But even better is the large and sturdy tray table, which not only is adjustable to find the perfect work position, it also has another smaller table inside of it, which is the device holder that's set up to handle all sorts of phones and tablets. The seat is also equipped with a coat hook, and the tall design of the seat itself also makes it feel rather private without being claustrophobic. Overall, I really don't have much negative to say about the seat. It is simply just very well designed and comfortable, and I think I even dare calling it my favorite of all new first class seats I've tried. However, it wouldn't be a proper journey on Deutsche Bahn without something going a little bit wrong, and that was certainly also the case today. After around 1 hour on the high-speed line, we slowed down and begin our approach to our next station stop, which is Köln Hauptbahnhof. And we catch a glimpse of the stunning Cologne Cathedral as we pull into the station. But despite arriving in Cologne bang on time, we sat past our scheduled departure time with no information, no announcements, no anything, just waiting and waiting. And that's why I've teamed up with Chuuchuu for today's video. Chuuchuu is a brand new train travel assistant. It doesn't just show you the timetable, but takes a look at real delay data and connection statistics to show you how reliable a journey actually is before you book it. I often see this question asked, can I make this 8-minute connection in Berlin, or how late will my ICE be? And now with Chuuchuu I no longer have to guess. You simply plug in your route on the journey planner and it gives it a reliability score out of 100 points, with even more statistics visible in the detailed view. Take our ICE from Frankfurt to Brussels today. It scores 92 out of 100, so most days it goes smoothly, but as the detailed statistics reveal, it's definitely not always the case. But where I think Chuuchuu is really handy is on journeys with connections. Take ours today. Let's say we were heading on to Antwerp. That's just a 7-minute connection, but our ICE service has an average delay of 8. That's definitely not gonna go right most of the time. And Chuuchuu makes that risk instantly visible and helps you find a more reliable option with just one click. And you can also compare other alternatives. Seems like ours is actually one of the better ones of a bad bunch. They are also developing an iOS app which can track your train live and even predict delays based on historical data, sometimes more accurately than the operator itself. And you'll get live updates about your journey straight on your lock screen, which is really cool. So the next time you need to plan a journey in one of these countries, head over via the link in the description below to use Chuuchuu to plan your journey, and make sure to let them know what you thought of it using the feedback button. Thanks to Chuuchuu for sponsoring this video, and now back here to Cologne where we have an update on our delay.
Ladies and gentlemen, due to a technical problem with our train, it's not possible to continue our journey at this moment. If I have more information, I will inform you as soon as possible.
I eventually learned that the problems were with the rear train set that we were meant to drop off here in Cologne. it would simply not disconnect from the front part going all the way to Brussels. Eventually, after 2 complete resets of the train where all but emergency power to the train went out, we got some good news.
Werder, ladies and gentlemen, we will continue our journey in about 15 minutes.
And sure enough, with a delay of just under 1 hour and with the rear train set finally detached, we were ready to continue onwards to Belgium. I know the title of this video is about how great this train is, and I know that was certainly not a great showing for it. So I had to do a little Google around, but I actually couldn't find anything to suggest that these trains have any major issues with reliability, so I choose to believe it was just a fluke on this occasion. But when I talk about these trains being great, it is really mostly the interior, and it's not only first class, which is very good, so let's take a closer look at the rest of the train's interior. First class of course comes in the standard 2+1 layout, which we already seen. Throughout both classes of travel you'll find multiple luggage stacks in addition to the overhead storage. The train is also equipped with an onboard restaurant serving stuff like cold beer, currywurst and coffee. Food and beverages can either be enjoyed at the cozy but limited amount of seats in the restaurant car, but they can also be purchased directly from the counter and taken back to your seat. Or in the case of first class, you can order to your seat both via the onboard ICE portal or directly from the dedicated first class train attendant. But I think my favorite thing about this train is that second class basically just has a smaller version of the first class seat in a 2+2 layout. It features the same good ergonomic design and the clever tray table design with the great device holder. The only things I spotted missing from first class was the dedicated cup holder and the wireless charging. Overall, a really great second class seat. Other great onboard features include bike space as well as a dedicated area for kids. Overall, I think this interior not only looks welcoming and inviting, it is also very comfortable and overall very well designed. The only thing I can really put a note on is that accessibility is not great. This is still a high floor train, meaning anyone using a wheelchair or the likes of it will still need a ramp to get into the train. But as anyone with a bit of knowledge about train construction knows, it is still a bit of a challenge building a proper high-speed train with a low floor in 2026. And perhaps the most funny thing about the ICE3 Neo, they initially launched with a completely different interior, more similar to that of the ICE4, which did face quite a bit of criticism. And I really have to take my hat off for Deutsche Bahn here, because they really did just turn around and say, you know what, the first one was not good enough, so here's one of the best train interiors in all of Europe. Enjoy! And before I forget, we still have a toilet left to review. This was actually pretty cool, featuring both a touch-free and normal flush button. The water was also working without issue, and for drying your hands, paper towels are provided. Overall, a clean, functional and well-designed toilet. It gets a thumbs up. Back at my seat, our train is now coming in to our final stop in Germany, which is here in Aachen. From here on, we will snake our way out of the city, and as we accelerate back up to speed, shortly afterwards we'll cross the border into Belgium, which happens smoothly with no checks here at this concrete wall. And welcome to Belgium. From here we have another brief ride on another short bit of high-speed railway to reach our next station stop, which is in Liège. Liège is the second largest city in Belgium's Wallonia region, and we call at their beautiful Liège-Guillemont station. I'm sure I butchered the pronunciation of that station, but frankly I don't speak French and I don't really care. Anyway, this station was designed by renowned architect Santiago Calatrava, and his station building here was completed in 2009. And while the station is definitely best experienced off the train, it was still nice to get a little glimpse of it during our brief stop. After departure from Liège, things got a little worrying, as apparently our train was gonna terminate short in Brussels North now. But shortly afterwards, the first class attendant came around to hand out the little complimentary first class cookie. She said it was just due to some communications error and the train would still go all the way to its usual final stop, Brussels South. We are now traveling on Belgium's high-speed line 2, which will take us all the way from just outside of Liège to Leuven, not too far from Brussels. And once again, we only really got up to around 250 km per hour, despite the line allowing for 300. I'm really not sure why we couldn't take advantage of the train's maximum speed today, especially given our delay. One last thing I should mention before we begin our approach to Brussels is that these trains are equipped with free Wi-Fi, and not only was this really easy to connect to, it was also very fast. You might also have noticed the patterns in the windows, and that's the technology that makes the train more radio permeable, allowing for better mobile connectivity on board. Right, and as we are now coming into Brussels, let's talk about tickets. As I was traveling on an Interrail, I could just jump on board with no additional payment required. But regular fares between Frankfurt and Brussels vary based on time of booking and demand, with the lowest prices in second class going for as little as €28 and 38 in first class. I think that's great value for money for a 3-hour high-speed journey across Europe, if you can manage to snatch one of those cheap tickets. And now, as we make our way through the heart of Brussels, let me start summarizing the trip. Overall, I have to say I am really impressed by the ICE 3 Neo, excusing the technical issues earlier. The interior is pretty close to perfect, and I have almost nothing to set my finger on. It is just very inviting, comfortable, and overall a great experience. The ride is smooth and quiet, and I do think I dare crown it as my favorite train, ever so slightly beating out other great trains like České dráhy's new Comfort Jet or the refurbished SJ X2000s. So now, as we pull into Brussels South Station, let me know what you think about the ICE 3 Neo in the comments. Are you just as enthusiastic about it as I am, or perhaps you have another favorite model? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for joining me on today's trip. If you have enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel to never miss any of my Sunday uploads. And if you want to give the channel a little extra support, consider joining the membership program to get early access to all my videos as well as exclusive travel updates. And to continue your journey, why not watch this video on the new České dráhy Comfort Jet, another one of my favorite trains. Thanks for watching.